Hey,
Hello.
good afternoon. This is Audioheads, part of Geeks Assembled, and we review audio adventures. And today we're reviewing something that's a little bit Christmassy because it's set at Christmas, and it's a ghost story. It's a really good ghost story, and it's about a house in the country and the supernatural stuff that goes on there. We are talking about The Exorcism, written by Don Taylor, who did the play, Airplay, or whatever. I don't know if it's based on anything real. I have no idea. Anyway, it's about two couples who hang out at this one house in the countryside. And so for opening thoughts, I just wanted to know what Lee thought of The Exorcism.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, it was a BBC radio play from 1992.
Uh-huh.
As you said, two couples spending Christmas Day lunch together in one of the couple's newly renovated 17th century cottage. And things sort of start off okay, because this is about nearly 90 minutes long, so nearly the length of a movie.
Yeah.
It does start off as a normal talking to each other over the dinner table and stuff like that. And you do think, to begin with, where's this going? Because it's just talking and talking, and you think nothing's happening here. It's just chit chat, isn't it?
Yeah.
As friends do over Christmas dinner or any normal dinner. And then as all of a sudden things start to happen. And that's when it sort of really pulls you in. So I enjoyed this because I've never heard this before. And for me personally, I got the sort of feel of the vibe of Sapphire and Steel sort of vibe from this.
Yeah.
Of the things, what was happening outside the cottage, inside the cottage. Very eerie things. We'll go into that, moments. But I enjoyed this. It's not really. It's set on Christmas Day, but it's not really about Christmas.
No.
It's about these two couples trying to understand what's going on. And of course, they have a go at each other through the drama. They blame each other for this, that, and the other. A little bit of arguing here, a little bit of arguing there. Really well acted. So that's my opening thoughts. Back to you, Susan.
So, yeah, those blame games were kind of humorous until Rachel starts channeling the woman named Sarah Jane Marley.
Mm-hmm.
And that was incredible when she started doing that, because then you find out all the stuff, but it takes you almost the whole way through to get to that point. It was a discussion about the mind, and they told each other about the gifts that they received. One received a harpsichord. Rachel did, and then the other one received a figurine with like like from Africa that was like a fertility figure. And when Rachel went to play on the harpsichord, she played music that she'd never heard before, but it was music that she was hearing in her head as and it was causing incredible deja vu.
That was the beginning of the events.
That
The
was the
harpsichord.
beginning, and then basically the house had a bunch of cursed spiritual energy put into the bricks
Mm.
and the mortar of the place. So that was an incredibly interesting turn of events when that started manifesting. And there's a lot of supernatural stuff happens after that. Lee's right. Rachel was played by Susan Fleetwood. Edmund was played by Kenneth Haig. Dan was played by Norman Broadway. And Margaret was played by Sarah Kesselman. And the new newsreader was played by Peter Pendry Jones. Anyway, I hadn't really heard about any of these actors before, except for maybe Susan Fleetwood is in Monarch of the Glen. I'm not 110% sure, so I don't remember. Anyway, so that's the cast list. Can you do you want to say something about your favorite moments or things that you just thought were?
Well, so the thing, what, as I said in my opening thought, is it does take a while to get going. I mean, this is made like a British radio drama. It's a typical British radio drama. You've heard these things over and over again, different dramas, and this is how the British do of them. As soon as it starts, it's a British radio drama. But it took a good,
25 minutes.
25 minutes before the event started happening.
Yeah.
I mean, people who aren't used to that in radio drama might have turned off by then. You know what I mean? They might have gone off and done some other things. But as I say, it's a typical radio drama. It sort of builds up the story, the tension. You've got to sit there and wait for the first event to happen, which was the harpsichord. Which was, I thought that was a great scene, because to say she'd never heard this tune before. I mean, let's go for it. We had the power cut.
Uh-huh.
All the electric went. So they just thought, it's just a power cut, but the phones wasn't working.
That's true.
One of them drank a bottle of out of a bottle of red wine, I think it was, and he said it tasted like blood, but everybody else didn't taste that. They just tasted wine.
And then didn't it turn to acid in one of their mouths?
Not that I can remember. I know the woman tasted the turkey, and that was so hot in her mouth. That could be what you're thinking of. That she tasted the meat, the turkey. When they said, but nobody else could. It was just her. And time had stopped at 5:35 or something like that. Every watch had stopped.
Yeah.
And outside, the moonlight, the stars, the cars, the driveway, it was just blackness, nothing. And this is where I was getting all this lot was where I was getting the sapphire and steel vibe from.
Yeah.
And they couldn't smash the window. They couldn't open the doors.
Right.
They were trapped in the cottage.
Yep.
And this played on the paranoia of all of them. which I thought was, as I mentioned before, the paranoia, where the blame game was really well acted out. So, but the final outcome at the end of the play, I didn't see coming at all.
No.
I'll let Susan say that, but there are a few other things. I mean, you've mentioned the possession of Rachel as well, but if you want to go into more detail with that, you can do that as well. But they're just a few. It was just once the supernatural events started to happen, it gripped you more.
Yeah.
So it for me, it did the job pretty well.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed this. I mean, as I say, it was about 90 minutes long. It didn't feel like 90 minutes to me personally. But we're old hands at this audio game.
Yep, we are.
Back to you, Stephen.
So the house had selected these four.
Yeah.
And Rachel had become unconscious went unconscious for part of it.
Yeah.
And they tried smelling salts, they tried dashing with water. There was no rousing her until she came back with another Sarah Jane, sort of riding shotgun over her reality. And let's see. I love the story, the connection with. I mean, it was pretty amazing that they even brought in some politics, talking about the working class will come to power, and that was fun. I was like, yes, that was a good fit. And Margaret was hearing breathing noises in her room, and she thought that she was being watched and being surrounded, and she just absolutely had to get out. So she went downstairs and headed for the door, and the door wouldn't open. And that's what led to the revelation that there was absolutely no way out. And then Rachel, you could hear the crying children, or she could hear the crying children. And then she started saying about how Sarah Jane had ended up being surrounded in the house. All of her spirit going into this place was because she was burnt alive and stuff, and so she cursed the whole system, and she cursed all the people and stuff. And her father was burnt alive first before her eyes, so that was incredible. And Dan really just he was just basically there to answer the questions of the other people. Like he was kind of like a passive observer. He wasn't really as traumatized as Edmund, because Edmund had to live in this house. And Dan basically was just like the proxy for the audience. So that was interesting. And the very end, there was a news story about these people that they found in a newsreader was reading the news. And first of all, it was all about this other stuff, but then the news story came on that they found 4 dead bodies who seemed to have starved to death in this house in the country. And it was just like, it was Boxing Day.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they starved to death over the course of one night, but that was the end. And oh my God, how amazing.
That ending, that just came out of nowhere with me, where they went upstairs, didn't they? And
We're
and
going
the
to go
next,
to bed.
yeah, they can't do anything. We'll sleep on it. We'll think about it in the morning. And then say the newsreader was saying 4 bodies were being found. The food was hardly touched in the house, in the cottage. But the strange thing was that all 4 had died of malnutrition, starvation.
Yeah,
Um,
I know.
it's that was so weird.
It really was. It was great. Yeah.
Yeah, just out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was intense. So
Yeah,
yeah, I enjoyed that bit a lot. And then and and the newsreader, well, nothing special about that, but how amazing anyway that all went down like that. Um so what else would you like to say about the exorcism?
I mean, we haven't mentioned the vision. I can't remember which woman had it when she was upstairs and she saw a dead child baby on the bed.
Oh, that was Margaret. That was
Margaret was
hearing the
it,
crying children.
but she saw that she even touched it and
Yeah.
felt it. Um, that was where she described that. That was a brilliant scene. But when they went upstairs, there was nothing there.
Yeah, of course.
As always in a ghost story. But yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I did enjoy this. So it was just. It had everything you could hope for in a drama about the supernatural.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was called The Exorcism, to be
No,
honest.
there was no deliverance or anything from that spirit that was in the house.
No, so that spirit is mostly still there.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. In brackets, it's called a Christmas ghost story, but every ghost story told at Christmas is a Christmas ghost story.
Sure.
So, but yeah, the exorcism bit I didn't understand, but yeah, pretty much well executed this drama.
Agreed. What would you give it out of 10?
I don't think I'd give it a 10 because, as I say, if you're not accustomed to listening to typical British Radio 4 drama plays, it mostly would have bored you for the first 20 minutes just of the chit chat.
Yeah.
But if you pass that event, so for me, I'm going to give it 9.5 bottles of blood out of 10.
Ooh, nice. Well, I enjoyed it. It was properly spooky. It was great to go to sleep to the other night, and but I won't go as high. I'll go 1 point lower. I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10 because the characters should have stood out more to me.
Yeah.
I mean, they were characters, but there should have been more, push back to one or the other, so they would stand out. Throwing a little.
This is what I mean about it's a typical British radio drama. That's how they do it on typical
But
radio.
no, but on a lot of the dramas that I've heard and a lot of the stories that I've heard, they put conflict in between the people and not just a mystery.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the conflict between the characters usually, I mean, that's what Britain is actually famous for, is like, that's what Shakespeare is. That's what is putting two characters at odds with each other and clashing in there. And so.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Well, we listen to different types of audio, don't we? We listen to produced CD audios, just not for the radio. We listen to radio dramas.
Yeah.
There is different ways how each medium makes a drama, and
Okay.
you can tell the difference.
Okay. Well, because I enjoyed it, I give it. I went to with an 8, but the 8.5 is because I did enjoy it, but I mean, it wasn't everything I thought it would be. Anyway, yeah, and I didn't see where the name fit in. That was random and weird, and like I didn't know. I mean, the music was good. And the harpsichord sounded pretty, and that's what you should have in a drama, as a harpsichord. So that was really great. And of course I imagined this thing with a mansard roof, but that's neither here nor there.
I don't think they'd have them in a 17th century cottage.
Yeah, they might.
What? No.
With two stories, then it would be a gabled roof with the shallow top slope. Anyway, doesn't matter. What is really important was that this was spooky, and it was spooky enough, and it was supernatural, way supernatural enough for me for Christmas, and it was a good Christmas story. Anyway, so I'd like to thank you for watching our podcast, and I'd like to thank you for watching all of our podcasts, and I'd like to encourage you to hit the subscribe button, and when you do, hit the notification bell, and we'll send you a link to all of our new material. We're gonna be doing 2 per week for about the next, who knows, and we invite you to join us on that, and without further ado, we'd like to invite you also to join our podcast group. Lee and I have a great time talking about these things, and we'd just like to invite you to join us. You gotta be 18, have a camera, have a microphone, have a way to engage Zoom. That's it. And I'd like to also invite you to join us on social media. We got a Facebook group, we got a Twitter feed, we've got a Tumblr, which is, and then we've got a group of links that Lee sends out on his personal at Lee Wilson on Instagram. So Lee Wilson 70 on Instagram, right? Yeah. And so join us and get involved. We're geeky, we're nerdy, we're exciting, we're fun. We enjoy film, TV, radio, and other audios. And so thanks for watching, Audio Heads, and have a Merry Christmas. And I like your sweater. Look at that. That's so festive. Oh my gosh, that is so festive.
All London town.
Yes, it's so very festive. That's awesome. Thanks, Lee. Merry Christmas.
And to you, goodbye.